In medical circles, one sometimes hears revelations that make one reflect on the fragility of human existence. A well-known oncologist once shared an observation that is chilling. The vast majority of my patients had no idea that a sinister scenario was already unfolding in their bodies, steadily leading to a tragic outcome. These individuals lived ordinary lives, unaware of the impending danger. They continued their usual habits, oblivious to the hidden threat. And only when the dreadful diagnosis was delivered did their world collapse in an instant, bringing the bitter realization: too late. The most insidious aspect of illness is its ability to creep up unnoticed, manifesting in minor details that we tend to ignore. In his time, Otto Warburg, a brilliant Nobel Prize-winning scientist, made a scientific breakthrough that revolutionized understanding of cell biology. He established that cell death is often caused not so much by infections or aging, but by oxygen deficiency. Everything we eat and do either fills our cells with energy and life or deprives them of the necessary oxygen. Based on his research, Warburg formulated 8 simple but powerful rules, the observance of which can restore the body's lost strength, boost immunity, and protect against the most dangerous diseases. These rules became a true key to longevity and health, and adhering to them can fundamentally change anyone's life. Otto Warburg's most astounding and revolutionary discovery emerged from his later research. He was not merely a brilliant scientist, but a man wholly dedicated to a grand purpose: to grasp the profound roots of cellular degradation and find ways to prevent it. His fundamental work in cellular respiration earned him the Nobel Prize, yet true insight dawned on him later, when he focused his attention on the study of cancer. With astonishing perceptiveness, Warburg observed that in the bodies of individuals afflicted with oncological diseases, cells lose their natural and vital ability to efficiently use oxygen for energy production. Instead of healthy aerobic respiration, they begin to resort to sugar fermentation, an anaerobic pathway, far less efficient and indicative of severe dysfunction. This metabolic shift, in his view, marked the very beginning of the disease, a silent, almost imperceptible, yet deadly signal of profound distress within the body. It was then that he uttered his famous phrase, long dismissed by medical circles, but gaining increasing relevance today: "No disease exists as long as the cells breathe properly." Warburg was not an opponent of traditional medicine. He was against inaction, against people's harmful habits and lifestyles that cut off cells from vital oxygen, only for them to then wonder why the body, this complex and perfect mechanism, begins to betray them. The ability of cells to breathe properly and, consequently, to live a full life can be preserved for many years, but unfortunately, most people lose this invaluable capacity long before old age, without even noticing this critical process. However, Otto Warburg did not merely sound an alarm, he left behind invaluable guidance for action. 8 principles that became a true compass on the path to health and longevity. And the first of these principles is so simple and obvious that one involuntarily wonders how it could have been neglected for so many years. It concerns the right start to the day. Often, upon waking, we instinctively reach for invigorating coffee or quickly grab a dry snack, completely forgetting our body's needs. Yet, in the first moments after waking, our cells crave not heavy food, but clean, life-giving moisture. Warburg tirelessly reiterated, every morning should begin with a glass of water, drunk on an empty stomach. A few drops of freshly squeezed lemon juice make an ideal addition to this water ritual. Lemon here acts not just as a flavor enhancer, but as a valuable alkalizing component that gently awakens the body, stimulates metabolism, and prepares the digestive system for active work. It is well known that our body is more than 2/3 water, and its deficiency leads to a gradual acidification of the internal environment. Blood becomes thicker, cells experience oxygen deprivation, and organs begin to function under increased strain. This process develops gradually, but chronic fluid deficiency is precisely where common symptoms like general weakness, persistent fatigue, susceptibility to inflammatory diseases, and eventually more serious chronic ailments begin. A woman once shared a striking story of how, at 67, she replaced her morning coffee with a glass of warm water and lemon. Within a few weeks, she noticed dramatic changes. Agonizing swelling disappeared, digestion improved, and the feeling of heaviness in her head vanished. "I suddenly realized I wasn't aging," she confessed, "but simply chronically dehydrated." However, water is just the first step toward health. The next principle is directly related to our daily diet, and here many of us make a fatal mistake that imperceptibly undermines the body from within. The second cornerstone of a healthy lifestyle is the daily consumption of salads, which is not merely advice, but a vital necessity for maintaining health at the cellular level. There is a common misconception that vegetables and greens are just a minor addition to the main diet, which can be neglected if meat or bread is available. However, as Warburg asserted, fresh vegetables, especially dark leafy greens, serve as an indispensable source of alkaline minerals like calcium and magnesium, as well as vital enzymes necessary for proper cellular respiration and function. A deficiency of these crucial substances leads to excessive acidity in the body's internal environment, creating fertile ground for the development of chronic inflammatory processes, joint pain, persistent fatigue, and premature aging. In such an environment, individuals feel a decline in energy, experience skin, hair, and nail problems, mistakenly attributing them to signs of aging. But in reality, this is the result of deep acidification of the body. Daily consumption of salad, dressed with fresh lemon juice and high-quality olive oil, is not just a dietary element, but a way to restore vital harmony. It helps the body efficiently absorb nutrients without expending energy on digesting heavy food. However, even with salads in the diet, there is another common habit that subtly but surely undermines health: snacks, where people often make choices that jeopardize their well-being. The third noteworthy rule concerns snacks that can transform the body's condition. When hunger persistently asserts itself between main meals, many automatically choose foods that seem convenient, but are far from ideal: sweets, salty foods, and baked goods. Often, such snacks are underestimated. However, as Otto Warburg would have emphasized, each one influences the body's biochemical balance. An excess of sugar and salt contributes to the acidification of the internal environment, negatively affecting cells, hindering their oxygenation, and weakening their defenses. As a result, the body undergoes accelerated aging at the cellular level. Warburg strongly recommended replacing harmful snacks with almonds, which are rich in calcium and magnesium, support stable blood glucose levels, and help maintain an alkaline balance. Spirulina, a marine algae, is also a valuable snack option due to its high iron content, complete protein, and ability to strengthen immunity and improve gut function. One woman shared her experience, recounting how replacing sweets with almonds and lemon water led to the disappearance of chronic fatigue and an improvement in her skin's condition. However, as Warburg stressed, even the most correct diet will not be effective without physical activity, which plays an important role in eliminating acids and toxins from the body. The fourth principle for body revitalization states, movement helps eliminate acids. As Warburg asserted, a body deprived of movement becomes a breeding ground for acidity. And this is not merely a poetic metaphor, but a deep understanding of biochemical processes. Prolonged sitting leads to blood stagnation, impaired lymphatic system function, responsible for detoxification, and consequently, the accumulation of harmful substances in tissues. As a result, cells experience oxygen deprivation, which negatively affects their functioning. However, maintaining health does not require exhausting workouts. Warburg emphasized that moderate daily activity is sufficient. For instance, walking one bus stop, choosing stairs over an elevator, or taking a short stroll before bed. These simple actions stimulate metabolism, promote natural body cleansing, and provide the boost of energy so necessary for modern individuals. The story of an elderly man who began taking daily 15-minute walks is illustrative. Within 2 weeks, his knee pain disappeared, and after a month, his sleep quality improved. Doctors were astonished by the results, and he himself realized the healing power of movement. Yet, there is another vitally important factor that accompanies us every second, but often goes unnoticed. Warburg considered it the most underestimated source of life. The fifth rule of health states, breathe or die. This process, as vital as it is imperceptible, accompanies us continuously, yet few approach it consciously and correctly. Otto Warburg, the distinguished biochemist, asserted that shallow breathing condemns cells to starvation, and cellular starvation, in turn, is a sure harbinger of disease. In the modern urban environment, permeated by dust, exhaust fumes, and stress, most people breathe superficially, utilizing only a small fraction of their lung capacity. Lungs operate at best at 1/3 of their potential, leading to chronic cellular oxygen deprivation. This, in turn, provokes serious disruptions in the functioning of vital bodily systems, such as the brain, heart, and blood vessels. Warburg urged people to seek clean air, regularly take walks in nature, and practice deep, conscious breathing. Even simply opening a window in the morning can be an important step toward restoring full oxygen exchange. He advised inhaling deeply through the nose, holding the breath for a few seconds to allow maximum oxygen absorption, and exhaling slowly. The scientist performed this simple but effective exercise daily. A striking example is the story of a St. Petersburg resident who began regularly performing breathing exercises on his apartment balcony. Within a week, he noted a significant reduction in blood pressure and the disappearance of excruciating headaches. According to him, he felt as if he had reactivated his brain, experiencing clarity of thought and a surge of energy. However, even proper breathing is not a panacea. A crucial component of a healthy lifestyle is proper nutrition, especially regarding meat, as most people consume it incorrectly, unaware of the consequences for their bodies. The question of meat, ally or adversary of health. It is a common belief that meat is an indispensable source of protein, essential for strength and growth. However, Otto Warburg warned, the danger lies not in the meat itself, but in how it is prepared and the quantity consumed. Meat that is fried, smoked, high in fat, and cooked with excessive oil places an undue burden on the digestive system, significantly increases blood acidity, and creates a favorable environment for the development of chronic inflammation. Warburg advocated for moderate and conscious meat consumption, recommending lean, high-quality cuts. He considered boiled or steamed meat to be the optimal choice, consumed no more than once a day and not exceeding 150 grams, approximately 5 ounces. This was not an act of asceticism, but a sensible approach to maintaining the body's internal balance. Furthermore, Warburg advised regularly incorporating cleansing days to allow the body to rest from digesting heavy foods, to cleanse, and to restore itself. One woman, following these recommendations, replaced fried meat with boiled and introduced 1 vegetarian day per week into her diet. Within a month, her stomach pains disappeared, her blood cholesterol levels decreased, and she noted an improvement in her mood. She described her feelings as being freed from a heavy burden. However, even the most beneficial meat will not yield the desired results if a hidden enemy is present in the diet, nullifying all efforts. Many consider vegetables an absolute symbol of health, but some of them can be harmful, and it's better to avoid their consumption. The 7th rule focuses on vegetables that can be harmful. It is well known that vegetables are a cornerstone of a healthy diet, but Warburg cautioned against the unconditional consumption of all types. In his view, certain vegetables, especially those abundant in starch and rapidly converting to sugar, can trigger acidification of the body. Potatoes, a common item in our diet, when consumed excessively, can exacerbate inflammatory processes, disrupt metabolism, and hinder oxygen delivery to cells. As an alternative, Warburg advised consuming alkaline vegetables such as Brussels sprouts, asparagus, zucchini, eggplant, and bell peppers. These foods not only provide the body with essential nutrients, but also contribute to its detoxification. They help restore acid-alkaline balance, saturate the body with vitamins and minerals, improve intestinal function, and most importantly, supply cells with oxygen. A resident of Voronezh shared his experience. After giving up potatoes and switching to daily consumption of steamed vegetables, he noticed a significant reduction in fatigue, improved digestion, and healthier skin. However, even the most balanced alkaline diet will not yield the desired effect without the most vital component necessary for life. Life begins with it, and without it, everything else loses meaning. Water is the cornerstone of existence and the key to robust health. As Warburg asserted, a body experiencing a fluid deficit begins to draw it from its own organs, leading to their depletion, which underscores the vital necessity of hydration. Cells don't just use water, they live in it. Water delivers essential nutrients to cells, frees them from toxins and metabolic byproducts, maintains optimal body temperature, and ensures the acid-alkaline balance that is crucial for life. Warburg strongly advised consuming at least 2 liters of water daily, emphasizing that he meant clean, warm, and preferably alkaline water, not juices or carbonated drinks. He recommended starting the day with a glass of water on an empty stomach and continuing to drink evenly throughout the day. A man who gave up tea and lemonade in favor of pure water reported that within 2 weeks his heartburn disappeared, and he felt lightness in his body. After a month, he began waking up rested and full of energy. Warburg warned, to neutralize the harm caused by just 1 glass of sugary soda, one would need to drink 30 glasses of clean water. But why eliminate the consequences if the cause can be avoided? Water is the beginning of all things and the foundation of our health. Otto Warburg's contribution to science extends beyond his groundbreaking discoveries. The culmination of his life's research was a simple yet profound conclusion, directly relevant to every individual. Warburg dedicated himself to studying the causes of cell death and finding ways to prolong their life and health. The result of his work was a concise and universal assertion. A lack of oxygen in the cell leads to disease. Its presence leads to health. The knowledge gained is not merely theoretical. It comprises concrete steps accessible to everyone for integration into daily life. One can start small, a glass of warm water in the morning, a light salad instead of a heavy sandwich, a handful of almonds instead of sweets, a walk in the fresh air instead of prolonged sitting, deep breathing, boiled meat, alkaline vegetables, and sufficient water intake. These simple habits can revitalize cells, filling them with energy and maintaining health and activity at any age. It is a common belief that health is a matter of luck or heredity. However, Otto Warburg convincingly demonstrated that health is the result of conscious choices we make daily, starting from this very moment.